Hello, Watch Your Chat here with your reminder that life is short. Buy the watch. Today we're having a look at the Omega Seamaster Aquaterra. And the special thing about this watch in the Omega collection is that it's a Worldtimer and it's got a Worldtimer complication. What makes it pretty unique in terms of the dial is this laser-bladed central disc, which is a northern hemisphere shot of the world. There's a Hesselite disc there as well for the hours and in world time hours, that is, in the inside there. And you can see these light blue arrows as well as the countries, and that's basically reflecting daylight savings time. Now, I suppose the flaw with one of these Worldtimers is that some of the countries no longer observe daylight saving times. I believe Samoa is one of them, so this is somewhat out of date. Having said that, I don't really look at that too much, so that doesn't bother me, or at least for my uses. I really like a couple of the, well, actually one of the Easter eggs here is that down here you can see Bien instead of Switzerland, and that's largely because that's the headquarters of Omega. So how it works is I actually use Tokyo as a reference because it's only an hour time difference from where I live. So if you go out to the minutes, you can see that as the minutes adjust, and there's a date window at the 6 o'clock there, you can see that disc centrally slides. And say, for instance, it was, say, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in Tokyo, then I know it would be 9 o'clock where I am. So you click it in to the hour setting, and then you've got basically a quick set hour hand. So that'll go to 9 o'clock. There you go. And that's basically the world time function. So you can see that's a very high polished bezel. Probably one thing I don't like about the watch, it makes it look really attractive, of course, but the scratch magnet, I was actually, you can see right there, I wore this, and that's my first scratch I picked up during the week. And you can also see that a lot of fingerprints on this central link. It's highly polished. I don't quite get why you'd go high polished on the central link. You know, it just rubs and that'll scratch up big time. And it's a butterfly clasp. So, yeah. And having a look at the movement, you can see that it's a machined movement, coaxial 8938. And it's actually quite a large watch. I believe it's 43 millimeters. Let's pop it on the wrist. Cool. So the reason why I bought this watch was, it was actually one that I've been looking at for a while, and the high polish really put me off, but I kept coming back to it. And I think it was just the uniqueness of that dial. And so I was speaking to one of my ADs, and it turns out that they were shifting from Brisbane to the Gold Coast. And he was actually telling me that despite all the work he'd done, he actually had to restart his list, or his client list, from scratch. So I was visiting the AD. This came up again. He actually suggested, he knew that I was looking at it, but he also sort of knew I was umming and ahhing about it. But when I heard that story, I sort of went, hang on, that's a bit unfortunate. And while it was a bit of a, I suppose, a bleeding heart moment, I actually bought this watch just to support him. I don't wear it a great deal. I've got, so you can see the brushed case there. But look, it's a fantastic looking watch. And will it be on the selling list? Possibly, but only because of wrist time. But now that I've picked up that scratch, sort of wear it with a bit more freedom now. And I think what I'll do is change out the strap or the bracelet. I hadn't really been dealing with this before because of the high polish, but I've already given it that scratch, so it gives me the freedom to sort of mess around with it a little bit now. Probably should tape this one up. I'll tape it up. Cool, so I used that light tan, and I must say it's actually looking pretty cool. I really like the rubber variant of this strap, but I actually think that looks really nice. So you can see that it's a sapphire back with machined finishing and the Omega Master coaxial 8-9-3-8 movement. Now the strap doesn't actually fit it perfectly because this is a 21mm lug to lug or lug spacing, and I've only got a 20mm strap. But I think that colour looks pretty good. I think I'll try that for a week and see how that goes. At least it avoids the problem before. You can see, I just don't like fingerprints all over the shop. It just looks nice in the boutique and showroom, but geez, it's just so impractical to have those highly polished links. One other thing is that this crown is actually a bit of an odd shape. It sort of sticks out like that, and if you look closely, it's sort of a wedge. So when you play with it, or when you're adjusting it, your finger does catch on that edge of the bezel in the case. But that's I guess a minor gripe. So yeah, that's the Omega Worldtimer. If you like that video, please click like and subscribe. And remember, life is short. By the watch.